Why does accessing the archive storage class cost so much compared to the other tiers?
Well, why do you think it's called archive?
Right. You tell me.
Yeah, so the whole point of the archive storage class is that the data doesn't really get accessed that often. Now, how does this work in the backend, right? Remember Colossus, when we're talking about it having all of the different data from Google? So the way we get performance from Colossus is that we know how often each kind of use case is actually getting to data. So what Google can do is they can kind of for each disk select a part of that disk to be data that doesn't really get accessed that often, and then a part of that disk to be data that needs to be accessed all of the time. That way we get good performance on average, right? And now basically when we're selecting to put data into the archive tier, we're kind of telling Google, this is the kind of data that we won't access. So you can park that into a corner of the disk that never really gets used. And then to enforce that promise of ours, Google is going to charge us way more if we try to access that data. So
it's totally legal to access it.
Yeah, it's totally okay. But then, of course, if we would be accessing it all the time, then our original promise of it being archive data wouldn't be true. And then Google would probably need to put it somewhere else, not into that dark corner of that hard drive.
But can you, if you know that, okay, this data was something that wasn't accessed so much, but then something changes, you get accessed a lot, can you change the tier?
Yeah, then just change it back to something different.
Okay, and does that cost?
That costs the same as retrieval.
So one-time fee?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you any clue how often the prices change?
No, of course, yeah, it's really hard to say. So all of the prices, like we said, that we mentioned, are current prices when taping this course. And yeah, keep looking. So generally the prices go down.
Have they ever gone up?
Not as far as I can remember, but I won't take a guarantee on that. But generally they go down, and generally they kind of follow the other cloud providers as well. With Google, we have a little bit more variance in the prices compared to some of the other cloud providers. So clearly Google is trying to steer storage to certain regions where they're seeing that they're having more capacity than usage. But if that kind of evens out over time, then you might see changes in the prices as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.